Good morning guys from the beautiful Bahamas and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a little talk about uni and what kind of things to expect when you're there, how to choose the right one, should you go, is there an option to go elsewhere than where your parents or your teachers say you should go, all that kind of jazz. So I've got my book, I've got my homemade iced coffee which I'm loving at the moment, and yeah, we're just going to talk all things uni. So I've got a little list of questions which I wish I'd had addressed before I went. So we're just going to do a bit of a run through those. Okay, so what's uni really like? That's a massive question, and we're going to break it down a bit. So, am I weird for not enjoying it? No, you're not, first of all. It's completely normal that everyone has a completely different uni experience. I personally have really struggled at university, just settling in, because the culture is completely different. It's so different from what you do at home. Your whole routine is different, especially when you have fewer classes than you used to have at school. Speedboat coming along. When you have fewer classes than you had at school, and you have a new schedule, and it's really difficult to get into a routine because all your classes are at completely different times. So there's no sort of everyday structure to your day, so you kind of have to create your own, which is why doing societies, getting a gym membership, getting up at the same time, breakfast at the same time, going out with friends for like lunches, brunches, all that kind of thing can really help with structuring your day properly. If you eat at regular meal times as well, so you have your breakfast at 8 for example, your lunch at 12 or 1, and then your dinner between 6 and 8, whatever you decide to do, whatever works for you, that can really help to structure your day if you do it around your mealtime. But are you weird for not enjoying it? No, you're not. So many people pick a university and they pick it based on what they think they're going to want, and a lot of that is based on the career you're aiming for. So school, I don't know about anywhere else, but in the UK I was always told that Russell Group was the best and that's where you need to be aiming to go, and if you don't get there then you're basically not a tip-top student, which is just not the case. And I've ended up at a university in a different country, so I go to Leiden in the Netherlands, and that was never even expressed to me as an option by anybody in the careers department at school or any of my teachers really. There was one teacher in my drama department actually who told me as a joke to go and visit Leiden University, and out of spite I did, and I loved the difference in the curriculum because I originally went for a philosophy degree, and there was so much more expanse. We did Eastern philosophy as well as Western, which was not offered anywhere else. I mean, it was offered at Warwick, but I didn't actually like Warwick that much. Choosing the degree is the most important thing, I'd say, because one thing I would definitely say is look at the methods of assessment for the university, for the exact course you're doing, because I have 24 exams a year, not including resits or retakes, and not including internal assessments or essays or anything like that, which is a lot, and I struggle more with the examination than the essays. Essays, give me 20 essays, that's fine. As soon as you put me in that exam hall, everything goes out, and it's frustrating because it's the majority of the degree, and to not be able to access the higher grades because of the method of assessment is really frustrating, because it's not that you're stupid, it's not that you're not good enough, it's that you just don't suit that way of being assessed, and not everybody does. I mean, there's that parable about ask a goldfish to climb a tree, and it's like, well, it can't, but it doesn't mean it's any less of a goldfish, which is kind of a weird story, but yeah. Am I on the wrong course? That's a hard one because I think I am. This is a really personal thing, and if you personally feel that it's not going anywhere, it's not going towards your degree, and you're sort of only in your first year or just going into second year or something like that, if you're feeling like you don't understand the content, or you're not enjoying the content, more to the point, it's not something you're interested in, it's not something you're interested in pursuing further down the line, don't do it. Don't subject yourself to that. It's really, really not worth it. Don't become a doctor because your parents say. Don't become a lawyer because your teachers say. Don't become a vet because you think it's what you should be doing with your life. If you want to act, go and act. You don't have to go to drama school as well. You can do a degree at a university for theatre or performing arts. If you want to be a writer, go and do journalism. Anything you feel that you have an interest in, that's what you should be studying. Don't put yourself through a degree because you think it's what people want you to do or think it's what you should be doing, because you don't want to end up being a doctor if you're not going to enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying the course to become a doctor, chances are when you're there, you're not going to enjoy it. When do I know to quit? So I've nearly quit multiple times. It's completely normal, and you shouldn't be ashamed. You shouldn't be ashamed of wanting to quit, because it's normal to have second thoughts. It's normal to change your mind. Actually, I was talking to a good friend the other day, out here in the Bahamas, who is going into her something like 5th career choice. She's now an artist. She's fantastic. But she's only just decided to do that, and before that she's been through so many different career changes, and it doesn't make her any less of a person. Actually, it's made her more of a developed personality, if anything. There's no harm in trying until you get to the right place, because there's no point in settling for less than you're worth, or less than you want, or less than you deserve, and nobody deserves less than everything, to be honest. I mean, if you have the option to do something you love, seize that opportunity with everything you've got. Am I a failure if I drop out? Absolutely not. 100% you are not a failure if you drop out. So many people change courses. I mean, a lot of people on my course at the moment are transfers. I think probably something like 20%, 15%, something like that, are people who have done another degree first and then decided that's not for them and come on to this one. International Studies is a very open degree, so there's a lot of variation within the degree, so it's quite a good one to do if you're not 100% sure of what you want to go into eventually, which is what the position I'm in. I'm fairly certain by now, but still, I could always change my mind tomorrow. Oh, I hate this one. My parents want me to go, but I don't. If the camera quality is really bad, or the light or whatever, because we had to do a little change of location because my camera was freaking out in the heat. So we're under a little cabana, which is really cute actually. No, so my parents want me to go, but I don't. If you don't want to go to university, you will not make the most out of that experience. So for a lot of people, they go to university and they seize every single opportunity that's given to them, because they know that that's where they want to go. They're really enjoying it. They are joining all the societies, they are loving their classes, maybe even taking extra classes because they're loving what they're doing and they know that that's exactly where they should be. If you're not that person, you might not join any societies, you might not go out, you might not make the extra effort to make that a place that you're enjoying, and that's bad for you because you're not going to have a nice time. You're going to be going home all the time, and I was in that situation. You'll be going home all the time, you'll be being a recluse at uni, you might miss classes, things like this, and at the end of the day you are paying for that education, and if you're not making the most of it, then that's not a good investment for you. And that's no fault on your part that you're not enjoying it or making the most of it. It's just that that's not the right place for you to be your best person. That's just not right for you as an individual. So if your parents want you to go and you don't want to go, it's really, really hard, but just tell them. Just say, Mum, Dad, your money, the government money, whatever, it's not going to be put to good use because that's not what is right for me. There are many different courses I could be taking. You could go to, if you're into it, you can go to beauty school, you can go to drama school, You can go straight into an apprenticeship, you can go straight into work, there are so many different things you can do nowadays. You can go travelling and find something you could do a working holiday. I know a lot of people who went over to New Zealand or South Africa and did either a working or a volunteering holidays, and some of them have stayed because they found exactly what they wanted to do there, working on reserves or wherever it was. That's exactly what they needed to do at that time, and they might have gone to university, but they've now ended up in the right place for them because they didn't just do what someone else wanted them to do. Partying. I'm not the right person to ask about this. I would say it depends on the university you go to how big the party scene is, for a start. So if you're big into that, then research the city and research the student body, and because they often hold events or things like that, or pub crawls, bar crawls, whatever. So you can always find out that way just by quick Google search, find out what the party scene's like. And if you're not into that, even if it's a party city, there are so many alternatives. I mean, with our university, the sports committee arranged for us to go surfing at a nearby beach, and that was amazing. And that's the sort of thing I love way more than partying. And we've done things like ice skating, there's cinemas where I am, like really cute bijou cinemas, don't know if that's the right word, kitschy, I'll say kitschy instead. We have loads of lovely little cafes that you can try out, and I'm an avid reader, so I like reading books, and there's always Netflix if you're really stuck for things to do. But yeah, something else I've really got into at university is cooking, and I'm not like a big chef or whatever, but I really enjoy cooking, and in the autumn and the winter especially, I make loads and loads of homemade soups, and not only is it really healthy, but it's really cheap, really quick, and really tasty. So you just get into things almost by default when you go to university, and partying, if you don't like it, you don't have to do it. If you do love it, there will always be opportunities to do so. Even if you're somewhere like that doesn't have any party scene necessarily, there'll always be a nearby city, undoubtedly, that does, or that you can get to, that will have a bigger party scene. Or make your own party, have a house party. Most universities, if you're on campus, I wouldn't know, but my accommodation was all off campus, so the university didn't actually have a say. It was just the housing agency, and they were so relaxed with what we were allowed to do, and parties and everything like that, so that was really great. Workload. Depends on the university, depends on the degree. That's about it. Yeah, really, you just need to do your research before you go, which I didn't, which was really stupid. That's my biggest regret, I think, not researching the methods of assessment and the content in terms of how much there was before I went. So really just do your research. Retaking and resitting courses, right, first of all, there's a massive stigma attached to this, which is that if you fail a course, you're not as good as the other students. That might not necessarily be the case. I mean, I've really struggled with the history courses. Now, I haven't studied history since I was 14, and everybody else had done it sort of to the higher level before they went on that course, so they had a massive background arsenal of knowledge that I just didn't have access to because I just hadn't done it. So I've resat that course twice now, and it's not that I'm stupid or unintelligent, it's that I just find it more difficult to access knowledge, and also because I haven't had that back knowledge, I've got nothing to build from, so I'm having to almost learn double what everybody else has to learn because they've done it before and I haven't. So retaking and resitting courses really isn't a big deal. It's just as long as you get the degree, everybody does things in their own time, and it really doesn't matter, and do not compare yourself to anybody else because everybody's journey is individual and different. But buy the books or PDFs. If you're someone who likes to annotate and like physically get in there and really like learns by writing, I'd say buy the books, because I know it's like £30 a book, or sometimes up to 70 or something like that, but it's an investment in your education, and it's something you can justify spending money on. I mean, rather than, for example, going for a dinner out, a meal out might be 40 quid. You could just spend that on the book, and the books you can always sell on. And I've done that, most of my peers have done that. We just sell it on to the next year group, and they get a book for cheaper, or you can actually buy it from the year above as well. So you get a book, they get a book for cheaper, you earn some money back, and they get all your notes as well. So it's a win-win really. And the PDFs are good, and you can annotate digitally now, but if your computer crashes, you're kind of a bit stuffed. Sometimes there aren't PDFs available, and it's not as... I mean, there have been studies to say it doesn't go in as much because you're not physically interacting with the paper and all this. You're not physically ingraining the knowledge in your mind. But everyone learns differently. Again, it's personal preference if you use PDF or the book, but I personally think buying the books is a worthwhile investment. Stationery to get in advance, right. Notebook is 100% necessary. I started getting with one notebook for all of my courses, and it was fine, but when it came to revision it was a bit harder to sort of remember which was for which. Actually it wasn't, because I colour coded everything, but I would say to get a different notebook for each course because it makes it easier to distinguish between what information is relevant to which course, especially if you're someone with messy handwriting or who isn't particularly organised with your notes, that kind of thing. Pens, obviously, blue and black are essential for writing, for exams, for taking notes. Apparently, if you write in blue ink, you learn the information better, which I didn't know. So there we go. Pencil case, I'd say get some highlighters and some coloured pens, just so you can start, like if you colour code everything, then you know exactly what topic it belongs to, things like that. Everybody's got a different style, everybody knows what works for them. Just use the same sort of stuff you had in your pencil case when you were at school, and that should work for you. Room essentials. So it depends if you're in shared accommodation or a studio. And right, so let's just talk bedroom then. So most universities, I think, provide beds and mattresses. So bring duvet, pillows, bedding, so linens. I wouldn't say there's anything really essential that I mean, a bin helps massively. A mirror. Yeah, I'm not very good at this question. I'm just trying to think about what I've got in my room, but to be honest, a lot of it was there already, or I had already, that I just brought with me from home. And you know what? One word: IKEA. That's all I got for you. IKEA is the place to go, and I'll do an IKEA tour soon, I promise, when I'm back at uni. Clothing essentials. Depends on the country, and it depends how often you go home, because if you're someone who goes home regularly, then you'll need sort of seasonal clothes. You won't need as many because you can just shop and change when you get back. If you're going for sort of the whole term or half a term, then you need to take clothes for the whole seasons. So for the first term you'll need autumn, winter, and you'll still need a bit of summer because September is still warm in a lot of Europe, for example. And then the next semester, so from February to May I think it is, you'll need the slightly colder clothes again because February going into March is still not warm, and then back into summer. So you can always go to a shop. There's always going to be like a Primark or an equivalent nearby that you can just grab some essentials if you need them. I've done that so many times with things like pants or socks. You always need socks because it's a true thing that the washing machine does swallow your socks. It's real. I don't know how, but it's a real thing. Working and studying. I don't have a job because of the restrictions for foreign students, but I know a lot of people who do, and it's not difficult to manage if you get your time management right. If you're someone who's really good with your time, then working and studying is no problem. If you're someone who will sacrifice the study for the work, maybe don't get a job then, or get a job when you go back home for the Christmas holidays or the summer holidays, for example, because you can earn the money then, and then you've still got money for when you're studying, but you're not compromising your studies at the time of exams or anything like that. Gym and sport. Again, it depends on the university, what facilities they offer, what team sports they offer, what individual sports they offer, if they have a sports society or whatever. So where I am, we've got the surfing, which we did, which was really good. I think I'm going to go a bit more, actually, because we get a discount now. And I really, really enjoy surfing. It's a great sport and it's so much fun. And it's great to do with other people as well, because it's so sociable and you can always get like a hot chocolate after and things like that. They've offered tennis a few times, but it's been sort of quite expensive for what it was, I think. There's no university teams for any sport where I am, at Leiden in The Hague. So I've contacted hockey clubs that are external to the university but still in the city a few times, and I'm hoping to join a club this next semester. It's just about looking around, seeing what's available. We've got the uni gym, which I'm a member of, which is great. But again, some universities have gyms that aren't quite as well kitted out, and you need to find another one in the city. That's not a problem. Most places, well, at least where I am, the city gyms also offer discounts for students. So you're not going to be paying extortionate amounts of money or regular membership fees. You're still going to be paying an okay amount of money. Making friends, oh dear. So it's as simple as you've just got to put yourself out there, join the societies, join the sports teams, sit next to different people every time you go to a lecture. That's a great tip. Every time you go to a lecture or a class, sit next to a different person, get chatting to them, talk about the course, talk about accommodation, just talk about anything. It could be as mundane as, do you have any pets? But just get the conversation started with as many people as possible, and soon enough you'll find yourself part of multiple groups. That has always been my thing. I've always felt almost at a disadvantage because I've never been part of any one group. I've always been friends with individuals or a few individuals from multiple groups, but never part of an actual group myself. And I always thought that was a bad thing because, like, when they go and do something, for example, you're never like the first port of call. But actually, that you don't have to like everybody, and not everybody has to like you. That's the way of the world. Not everybody will like you. You won't like everybody. It's just human. It's not a problem, it's normal. So as long as you're friends with some people, friends with people that you like, you've got enough people in your life that you can have a nice time and really enjoy your uni experience. There's no problem with not being a part of a group. Actually, you'll get more chances if you're part of multiple groups because you'll have many more of those opportunities. Right, my camera's flashing red, so I'm going to sign off there. I hope that was a useful video. I hope you got something from it and that you enjoyed the scenery because it's pretty fab. Just remember that everybody's uni experience is completely different and you don't need to compare yourself to anybody else. Do your research, put yourself out there and find something you really love at university to hold on to, be it drama, sport, anything. Chess club. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day and I will see you in the next video. Bye.